Hello friends, my name is James Owen Brown and I have made a decision. It's time to sell my comic books. And the collectibles, the storage locker has got to go. There's no space for the items here. It's a long story that you can read in its entirety in an essay that I wrote that should be up on medium.com/@thecomicscabinet. And speaking of the Comics Cabinet, who I've been writing articles for a bit now, they have asked me to enter a partnership to create a YouTube channel specifically for the Comics Cabinet, specifically comic book related videos and material. I accepted immediately and am super excited. So, you may be watching this video on my channel, you may be watching it on theirs. Either way, please subscribe, please follow the adventure. And I wanted to talk today a little bit about what my plan is for my first batch of content for that channel and my own as well, and social media in general. I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So as I said, the comic books need to go, the collectibles need to go. It's time. Everything I have that's Marvel is at an all-time peak. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is dominating the planet, and yeah, it feels like a sell high time before, and I don't know what would happen to slow the momentum. I mean, oversaturation, I've read, is a problem for some people. Not for me, I don't care. Give me all of it. Just keep pumping it out. I don't even care. But yeah, so there's always, a possibility that things taper off, or what we saw in 2020 with the pandemic, and the definition of essential had changed. There was a couple of days where toilet paper was very scarce in the shops, and this comic book collection was looking pretty tempting in those moments, and the definition, like I said, of essential had changed, and now I'm like, nothing in that storage locker is essential. None of it. Not a single thing in that storage locker is essential. I mean, my title belt is pretty cool, but then what happened, and this is a story I've yet to tell really on social media, people went nuts because they couldn't shop. So collectors were like, I gotta get my fix. I gotta make my weekly trip to the comic shop. So a lot of the things that happened online via live auctions and stuff like that. So we had a solid collection of Pop Funkos. We had about 800, and a lot of them were retired and, accumulating value. And we decided on those it was time, in case they went the way of the Beanie Baby. So while nobody could shop, we, with the help of Freak Show Comics here in the Falls on Lundy's Lane, check them out, Freak Show Comics. We were able to put some stuff on consignment and partake in some of the auctions, and we did really well. We ended up using those funds to pay for our wedding, and we still have about 600 Funko Pops in storage. And they've just been, they're a little bit older, and they've been accumulating value, ideally at a rate higher than what it costs to have the storage locker. And yeah, we're going to see what happens. So my first batch of content is going to be me documenting the process of selling my comic books and my collectibles. I've decided I'm going to use all different means. I haven't auctioned a comic book off on Facebook, but I have watched auctions of comic books on Facebook. I've been studying, I've been taking the steps. I look at eBay. Every night before I go to bed, I check the things, see what the trends are, see what's hot now, see what's not hot anymore. And so I think I have a good base of knowledge to start, and making sure at the same time that I don't get hosed on my collection, So if you've subscribed, because of the short that I posted, the short was like super quick, basically saying this video, but as quickly as possible, and it came down to, can I turn this storage locker into $50,000? because that's my goal. I think we can do it. I'm confident we can get there. I just need to find the path that's going to get me there. So yeah, so intermittently over here, I'll post some shots of the storage locker, and you can get a look at least the scope. You know, you can see how big the locker is. You can see a couple of items to give you the idea of what kind of stuff is in there, what gold is in there. I will say that if I died or something like that, and the storage locker ended up on Storage Wars, and you bid on it, you'd be in a good spot. Depending on what you got it for. But normally those lockers you don't see them go above $5,000. So, and if you got my storage locker for $5,000, I would haunt you. Oh my goodness, I would haunt you. So yeah, that said, I don't know. Keep an eye on my channel. I'm going to post shorts. I'm going to try and do some weekly auctions. I'm going to try and have a sit down with Keith over at Freak Show Comics. Keith and Amy, they run the shop. And if they will, I haven't talked to them at all about this. I literally just had this idea that maybe I could sit down with him, pick his brain a little bit, ask him some questions. Maybe we can talk about, the pros and cons of consignment or auctions, or those methods based on the price of the item. Like it's tough to auction off something is worth, a few $100s. So is that the best way, or is consignment the best way, knowing that right off the top you're going to lose, around 20%, somewhere in that area, typically would go to the shop. So we'll talk about it. We'll weigh in. I will inevitably make mistakes that you can then learn from. And I think it'll be beneficial for everybody. My hope is that a lot of people take notice on social media and are like, oh man, I'll give you this much money for that comic. And I can skip the steps of the auction. If you, as we go through this, if you see anything that's up for grabs, maybe it's in the background and you're like, oh, I need that for my collection. Make an offer. Feel free. Leave a comment. Make an offer. And I think this is going to be a really fun process. I also need to do this through videos and keep a well-documented thing so that I can see the totals, because I'm curious. And obviously we have to see if I get to the $50,000. And I also think it'll help keep me accountable. I have a hard time with some of these items. This is my life. I've been collecting literally my entire life. And the nostalgia attached to some of these items is crazy. But as we go through, I'll tell some of those stories. I'll talk about, what I paid for that back in 1998 and stuff like that. And we'll see the difference and what items are big money makers, and just, all the pitfalls maybe along the way. I'm going to make mistakes. There's going to be situations that you're going to be like, oh man, I wouldn't have done it like that. And you'll know for sure that you shouldn't have done it like that. But yeah, so I went to the storage locker one time. This is where this footage is from, that's ideally cycling beside my head right now. And I pulled out a few items that are going to be the first batch of stuff to sell. So let's have a look at those quick, and then we'll call it a day. So I don't know how much I want to go through everything itemized like that, maybe the notable stuff, but to find what's notable, you still have to document all of that. So I have to sit there and record, or do I use still shots? So I don't know. The filmmaking process is going to be a fun adventure as well. And again, I'll inevitably make mistakes that you can watch and avoid. And it'll be fun. The whole thing is going to be fun. So check it out. Check out the Comics Cabinet at medium.com. medium.com/@thecomicscabinet. Subscribe to my channel. I'll post some links. If you're watching this on the Comics Cabinet YouTube, subscribe to that channel as well. This video, and potentially theirs, is sponsored by www.420dna, because if it's in you, it should be on you, just like it's on me, for all your subtle 420 apparel needs. And HoldenRoadsCoffee.com. It's always fresh, never tired coffee with personality. Check out holdenroadscoffee.com. My friends, we'll see you again very soon. I love you.